So it is then Manchester City taking on Chelsea first off in this FA Cup semi-final weekend. Our coverage begins at 4, live on talkSPORT. Kickoff, though, is at 5:15. City's dreams of a second successive treble are over after defeat to Real Madrid in the Champions League, while Chelsea are hoping to reach their second domestic cup final of this season. The Chelsea boss, Mauricio Pochettino, is still looking for his first major trophy in England, and he says winning one at Wembley is his dream.
I think I have too many good memories from Wembley. We play too many games. Hope that one day can leave a trophy there. That is my dream. That is what we want, like a coaching staff, and of course for the club could be amazing.
Okay, so Cass, of course, Chelsea come into this in good form, and what I was going to say is, in terms of the good form that they might well be in, do you think we're starting now to see the work that Pochettino... It might have come a bit late in terms of this season, but are we now finally seeing a Pochettino Chelsea?
Well, I mean...
Is it taking this long?
Look, the result on Monday night was a huge one, 6-0. Against Everton. The way Cole Palmer played, I personally think the way Caicedo played as well, been a long time coming. But he started to look like the player they invested $100 million in, because he was a major player. If we go back to last summer, lots of clubs wanted Caicedo. Obviously, Liverpool tried to challenge Chelsea in buying him. Yeah. They didn't get him. Chelsea got him. I saw an unfit Caicedo at the start of the season. It happens with younger players. They get their heads turned. Clubs are battling for them. Don't have the pre-season that was required. He took a long time to get going. But we're starting to see signs of a more, what would I say, Nat? A side that looks like you could... When I always can judge a team where I pretty much think I can pick the side that's going to play. Okay, yeah. So, then it's easy decisions for the manager.
So does that in itself then make it a more coherent Chelsea? Because now, as you're saying, if there's a consistency to the lineup, that means the relationship's now been built. Yeah. They kind of all know what they're doing. Therefore, they're all starting to click. Yeah,
well, Maduaike's come into the team, hasn't he, on the right? You could add in Woodrick's played a bit more football. Then you've got the three. I know Fernandes has been injured, but generally you can sort of see. I mean, Thiago Silva's still in the team. I do laugh. He's 39 years old. He's still there, and people think Chelsea are going to move on. And I think, well, maybe not. He might stay another year there. He's still in that starting lineup at Chelsea. It's a big day for Chelsea because they've been a club that have been winning things and challenging and rubbing shoulders with clubs like Man City. And Man City have had a really bad and hard week to take. They dominated 2 legs against Real Madrid. I mean, the game on Wednesday night? It's one-way traffic. Now, Real Madrid, yes, got through, and we can say, but it wasn't. Real Madrid are probably the biggest club in the world, and they are expected to play a certain way. They're not expected to go to the Etihad and, try and hang on and stay in the game. And that's exactly what they did. They've performed miracles in the Champions League over the last few years. I don't know how they've got there sometimes. They've got through ties, the way they've played.
Talking about Chelsea, though, they're unbeaten in 8 coming into this one. That's what I sort of mean about their clicking. We might now finally be seeing this Pochettino Chelsea. A lot of their success, obviously, is down to Cole Palmer and the incredible season that
he's in the papers everywhere, isn't he?
He's, well, as you could well imagine, not only is it because of the form he's in, but he's taking on his former side in this FA Cup semi-final. He's now scored 20 goals in the Premier League, which is quite incredible when you consider he hadn't even scored a league goal before this season for Manchester City. So
quite a number of penalties in there. He's had the most penalties, hasn't he? And nothing against him. He's still been brilliant.
I always find that interesting because I saw a lot of people say, they talk about, for example, Ivan Toney, and forgive me for slightly going off tangent, but you're talking about penalties, or how many penalties he's scored in those goals. And I sort of think, well, why does that really matter? A penalty's not an easy thing. I know a lot of people might argue and say, look, when it's just one-on-one, penalty shoot favour the striker of the ball, but they're still not easy to put away. Surely.
No, it's a skill. It's most definitely a skill, and sometimes it's a real mind game.
I just don't get the downer that people have on.
No, I think you
might have scored so many goals as a penalty.
Well, I think some people say, well, the golden boot, should it be judged with penalties in or without? I've heard that discussion before, which is, I'm not sure. it's a penalty that you get given. If you look at the top of the goal scoring charts now for the Golden Boot, nearly all of them are penalty takers.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie Watkins is the exception, isn't he?
Yeah, he is the exception. Everyone else is a penalty taker in there. Salah takes penalties. Ireland takes penalties.
Yeah.
You know, so
it just annoys me a little bit.
Yeah, I sort of get it. I mean, I took penalties in my later stages of my career, and I wouldn't want to be chalking my numbers off because of penalties, because they do add. It was funny because I could see Nicholas Jackson.
Yes.
Why he was so desperate. Yeah. He wants numbers. He wants to finish the season with 15, 20 goals.
Yeah, but would he have done that if it was 0-0?
I don't know. Sometimes guys on the pitch. Do you know what? I said this I did a piece on this in the week, and I was saying it was really weird being a penalty taker, because when I sometimes felt my colleagues were wanting me to miss because they think I'll be taking pens if he misses. I sometimes felt it.
I'm sure.
And it might be me. I might have been paranoid, but the way that, they'd be round the gaffer in the training sessions and practicing penalties. If I happen to miss, they're jumping up and they're ready and available. So penalties are, they're not always a given, are they? As we've seen this week.
No, that's what I mean. I think there's a lot of, you mentioned skill. It's also your mindset.
No,
and
of
course,
if
you are the nominated penalty taker, you're nominated for a reason, because there's a confidence in you from the manager, from everyone around you in the main, that you're the one that can put it away. But I still think it just annoys me when I see sometimes people say, yeah, but 10 of them are penalties. So what? It's a goal. Yeah. It's still, stands as a goal.
Can I just add one more thing? Because there's a lot in the papers today about, that Pep knew Cole Palmer wanted to leave for 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. And I think that's credit to him, because that's a player who doesn't want to sit around and hang in the bench and maybe play part. Because Riyad Mahrez left, and Pep talked about that, that he could have had that opportunity, but he chose to go and play Chelsea. Chelsea were offering him first-team football immediately. He wanted to go and play football. So fair play to him.
But no one would have thought he would have made this impact.
No, of course we wouldn't, but Chelsea did. We've criticised Chelsea for how much signings they did, but they really believed they were signing a player that could make a difference. So fair play to Chelsea.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will keep you right across, of course, what happens at Wembley for this FA Cup semi-final. And Manchester City fans, we will talk about the City side of things a little bit later on in the show. But as I say, we will bring you this FA Cup semi-final. 5:15 it kicks off live here on talkSPORT. And that was a look at some of the latest football news, all thanks to The Sun.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.